Good morning. Welcome to Books at the Bottom of the Stairs. My name's Lorene. I'm posting this a day late because yesterday I went on a bookshop road trip. My girlfriend Karen and I got in the car at 9:15 and we didn't get back until 5:30. And I'm going to tell you about that all next week. I have a historical, that's the wrong phrasing, I historically have been awful at doing that kind of adventure kind of a video, but I have footage this time. The batteries haven't died, the lighting wasn't a disaster, the frame didn't break on anything, so I might actually be able to pull this off for next week. So in this week I have two books that I have really enjoyed, and I'm hoping you guys will too. Thomas King's recent release, Aliens on the Moon. So when was this released? This is pretty new. I picked it up 2025. I picked it up when I was in St. John and at Scheherazade bookstore. It's been a really good year for independent bookstores. So pretty much every time I've gone into one, I've come out with something I'm really happy of. So Thomas King is pretty much an automatic, straight out of the drawer, he is my automatic go-to purchase. Now, the only things I haven't purchased are his mystery novels. I think they're a little bit more, it's not that I don't enjoy them, it's just that I tend not to buy mystery books. I think there's 5 in the series, and I really, really like them. I just haven't put my money there. So this one is not part of the mystery series, but we have got a similar structure in the sense that there's a very limited group of people who we are seeing, and I for the longest time I thought that we were out west somewhere, but it turns out we're in Ontario. That wasn't made manifest until somebody took the train to I don't know, remember, there was something to do with Union Station that made me figure it out. But it's not really too important where the setting is. The other part I thought was perhaps it was in the town where the mysteries are set, because it feels very small townish, but that's not true either. That's just me interpreting. So what we do have, two significant situations. We have aliens who have landed on the moon. Now, this is taking place in the US. It's during one of the Trump administrations. So as the reader, there was a part of me that was just thinking, is there a little bit of satire about, fake news? Is that part of what's happening here? Oh, is it real news? Is it fake news? So the people on the ground really are not 100% sure, but they're all really preoccupied with the fact that the aliens have landed there. Somewhere in the middle of the book, it's possible that the aliens have landed on one or more reservations, and so there are blockades to certain reservations, and that's causing tension in different parts of the country. And because I guess that whole take me to your leader thing, or let's take the aliens and take them out for dinner and then put them in a science lab, that those storylines are not what's happening, but people have it in the back of their head. So what the other part of the thing that's happening is we have this gang of people who are struggling with the everydayness of life. And as we, go down the adventures in the book, the question occasionally arises is, can we blame it on the aliens? Do I have to take responsibility for what's transpired? Because I just found some... I was eating a smoothie. Oh, that didn't gross you out. So here in the blurb, which I did not see, was it's taking place in a small Ontario town. So Bria's grandmother has her great-grandmother's rosary that she received while she was a girl in residential school. And the grandmother has asked Bri to take it to the Pope and tell the Pope, the story of the rosary. The Pope is coming to Canada. Bree doesn't want to do it. Grandma really wants her to do it. Bree gets pissed off, and it's here in the blurb. Many thousands of kilometers away, the Pope gets hit in the cheek with a rosary. Is it the rosary? Well, it's possible because there's some signs on the rosary, and so Bree hasn't told anybody what she's done with the rosary, and so that whole storyline I just loved. I really loved. Then there's Darlene. She's mixed up with a petty thief called Billy, and Billy has got his issues, and Darlene and Billy are pretty ineffectual individuals, and Darlene blames everything on everybody else to the point that it's ridiculous. It's even like if someone's if there's a hole in her inner sock, it's not her fault. So we're seeing Darlene potentially grow up a little bit in this book, and we see Billy solving his problems also in an extremely eccentric way, not improbable but eccentric. And then we've got Herb, who's bought a drive-in. His wife has passed away some time a bit ago, and this is part of his grieving process. He's got the big drive-in screen, and he's watching movies and playing golf, like using it as a shooting range. And there's a group of people who are want to be friends of the aliens, so they're trying to convince Herb to put on movies that they think would be really friendly and informative, and so that the aliens feel like they're coming into a place that's going to be welcoming. And who else have we got? Nico, who has a Subaru, whose battery, sorry, I can't say that right. His battery in the Subaru keeps dying, so the people who are in charge of the warranty have so many slick runarounds for this poor guy, and it's just, is he ever going to get his car back? And where else? Is this also the one where, okay, I've read so many in the last little while. Okay, so it's just the stuff of ordinary life except for the aliens. So the second issue that these people are dealing with, that like they've got their lives intertwined with their sort of ongoing inability to really live. It's not successfully, but unchaotically, and it's like the broken shoelace just as you're trying to get on the bus. You know, it's those kind of things that are happening, but they're so deeply frustrating for the people who are experiencing them. And where does your ownership come into all of that? When are you going to start solving your own problems? Well, one of the things Thomas King isn't doing in this book is he is not really telling any of the legends that he frequently does. He quite often will include falling woman or turtle or raven or fox. They are not present in this book. What you kind of see, if you know Thomas King of old, when he did the cafe, what was the name of the cafe? It was on CBC Radio, blub, blub, blub. I know it's not the Bluebird Cafe, but anyways, it has that kind of sense of humor. There's irony, and there's the ridiculous, and there's looking at the real humanity of people, like their individual personalities, and some of them trying hard to improve themselves, and others completely satisfied with what's going on and no need for improvement. Like, I don't know why you have a problem with this kind of situation. So I loved it, but I loved Thomas King's humor, and I haven't really done the story justice. One of the things that happened, which I'm sure those of you who read more than, like, you tend to read in kind of clumps of books. I'm also listening to an audiobook. I'll put the name in the doobly-doo below, because I cannot remember exactly, 9 Miles or something. And Oh, I detest it. I cannot stand it. Except it's the same story, except without the aliens. A whole bunch of really, really rich people have gone to a spa that's going to cleanse them and help them emotionally and spiritually and nutritionally. And each individual is so unlikable. And so I have a little bit of sympathy for one or two of them. But the rest, it's just, oh wow, I really would not want to sit beside you at a concert. It's like, no, let's not get concert tickets with them. They're just people that I really can't empathize with. And, you're supposed to empathize with everybody, but some are a lot easier than others. So I continue to listen to this audiobook. It's a whole story in itself where I just am so frustrated with finding good audios that I don't have to pay for. And that is, that's a whole, like in my head, there's just a lot of tied up knots, but this and but that. And right now I am doing a few things that I would like to be listening to a nice podcast or a nice audiobook, but this is about the fifth one in a row that I've listened to and thought, oh, not another crappy piece of stuff. So I'm going to listen to it. It's going to kill me. It's 13 hours. I'm at somewhere like 6 more hours to go. But nobody's having, at the moment in that audiobook, nobody is having any kind of personal growth that they don't rationalize away. They might see something and get a glimpse of, oh, that could work, but and then they rationalize it away. The people in this book actually confront the potentials that do arise and make choices around it. So just to complicate what's going on in my brain, my Reading Across Canada book club chose this book. And it's the Stephen Leacock Award winner for this year, I believe. Or if it wasn't a winner, it's a runner-up. The Crow Valley Karaoke Championships by Bryan. Bryan has written a couple of other books. She's written The Figs, a novel. Figs is like a family last name, Figgs. Then Roost, a novel, and The Hill. Okay, again, we've got a group of people who are all going into the karaoke championships. None of them are good. All of them, if they can win and get to the next level, they stand a chance at the Nationals of winning $10,000. So, like, everybody's really keen to compete. This just seems like such an easy thing to do. It's just a karaoke machine. You just have to practice it a few times. Just have to put on a bit of a costume and, on the stage a little bit. And if you can hit all the notes, you're in. But it's not quite that easy. Partly because they're all bad singers, but also because the two judges are both dealing with terrible trauma. And we've got Roxanne. Her husband died a year ago as a part of the experience of fires coming into their BC small community, and the gas station blew up and he was too close. So he's gone and parts of the town are gone. And Roxanne, her husband Dale, used to compete at these karaoke championships for years. And so this will be the first one that he's going to miss. So they're doing it in honor of him. So there's a lot of sentimental singing. This is for Dale. And the other part is she's kept his ashes in his old coffee thermos. He used to be a guard at the local prison penitentiary. And so that was always his drink for lunch. And so his ashes are in his coffee canteen. And she misplaces it on the day of the karaoke competition. So she is so preoccupied. And she still really hasn't gone over the hump of grieving. She's still in that tight, this cannot be true stage. And she's been there for a year. Nothing wrong with being there for a year. But it's just been so painful to be there for a year. But going to the next step of actually accepting it is pretty scary. And so she's dealing with that. And she's not in the least interested in any of the people who are up there singing. She's the town clerk, and so she knows who hasn't paid their taxes and who's filing for a separation or a divorce. She just knows everything about everybody. And so she's judging them on the basis of whether she likes them or not. And the other judge is more or less doing a professional job. But his apartment has flooded back in Vancouver, and his mom's ashes, she's just died a year ago, his mom's ashes are floating around in the flood somewhere. So it keeps on going. Everybody who comes up to the karaoke competition, we are meeting and we're getting to know their families and their children's, and it's things like one lady has spent $400 on a gold lame cling film dress, but it won't stay up because her breasts are too big, and she breaks her shoe, and she opens her purse, and when the littlest kid has broken all of her cigarettes, and it's like, then she gets a call from her husband. There is a prison. He's a police officer. There's been a prison break. One of the inmates has escaped. Now, and I don't want to tell you a bunch more because it is all intertwined, and it all dovetails quite nicely. And everybody, the prison breaker, the prison guard, I think I'm distracted. I think my buzzer's going to go from moving the sprinkler. Back in a sec. Okay. Somebody out there has a teenage person who needs an idea so that they can be a millionaire, and I have one for you. You just take the hose and you have the sprinkler on the end. And when you go to water your plants, you kind of kink it, which means that so that you can move it without getting soaked. Somebody needs to come up with a kinker that doesn't wreck your hose. So in my head, I can hear my husband screaming, "Don't kink the hose!" Well, I do not want to have to walk all the way around to the tap and turn it off, position the stupid sprinkler, come back, turn on the tap, go back, make sure I haven't because you're supposed to conserve water, so I don't want to have it too big. I need a kinker, okay? Someone's going to make a lot of money. You go share that. Share that with the world. All right, what were we talking about? We were talking about the prison break, and he has got his own issues. He's so damaged. He has had, really from pretty much babyhood, he has had a disastrous family life. So he finds himself in prison. At heart, he's a nice guy. He just doesn't know how to be nice. He's just never, ever seen an example of being nice. And like even little things, if someone was to sneeze, it wouldn't occur to him to hand over a hanky or a Kleenex or something. He just does not know how to relate to people. So in his escape, he is in different vehicles, hiding under blankets, or it's very complicated. He's hearing people who don't know that he's there, and they are a daughter and a dad are having a conversation, and it's a very nice conversation, and it's about supporting each other, and he's in the back and he's taking it on board. And then there's another one where he's hiding and he wants to steal a car, but he's hiding behind a dumpster, and he hears another conversation about relationships, and so he's intaking all these people that are at the karaoke championships dilemmas, and he's hearing them talk about it to either a friend or, mom and dad together, mom and kid together, so on. He's hearing these little glimpses of what real people are. I don't mean that real people, I didn't mean that. Let's say unimprisoned people, how they are talking about relationships and how to do things. So he's actually getting therapy while he's escaping. So he has a whole trajectory. Roxanne has a whole trajectory. Each of these karaoke competitors have slightly shorter trajectories, and then there's a couple of even shorter things that are happening with some of the kids. And man, I laughed. I laughed, and this is, as I say, I'm pretty sure it's won the short list, or it actually won the Stephen Leacock Award. And if this is the direction that the Stephen Leacock Awards are going to go, it's finally going to be a award to pay attention to, because hopefully we're done with all the political satire that's gone before. I mean, satire is great. It's all based on Stephen Stephen Leacock, and oh my God, we were just talking about it yesterday. What is it? Stories from a small town, something small town, letters from a small town. I can't remember exactly what the title is, but he did a satire, and he was a contemporary of Mark Twain's, and so they have it's like the contemporary look at America that Twain does, and Stephen Leacock does the same for small town America at the same small town Canada at the same time in history. So, it was pretty funny. A lot of it got into the newspapers. Some people would be really offended because satire can do that, and other people just laughed their socks off. So this award has been going for quite a few years, but it primarily went to people who were writing about politics or policy or international affairs, and quite often the writers were people who were in Ottawa who knew the new and walked the walk, and they were sort of self-deprecating. Well, if you don't know who Bubbly Smith is, then you don't get the joke. So like I say, I hope it's skewing away and it has a different direction as to what they're going to consider funny. Man, oh man, I think this was such a good book. And it's for the my online book club, Canada Reads, which you can link to for Bookworm Adventure Girl. I'll put that in the piece below. And you just have to get a membership. I think it's $6 a month or something like that. And I've been doing it for 2 or 3 years, and I've come across some pretty good books this way. And it's a small group, so everybody gets a chance to speak. It's not like hundreds of people where you're just a face on the screen. You really get to participate and share in. So 3 books about people's, there's a word that just won't come into, not peculiarities, but eccentricities, fallibilities. Well, not the one that's happening at the spa. That one makes me groan. Thomas King made me smile, and Ellie Bryn made me laugh. So let's leave it at that. I hope all your reading dreams and adventures continue to come true, and I will see you next time, hopefully with a road trip. Bye-bye for now.